Episode 2, Everything changes at the Sea chest. I told my mother everything. We were very frightened and did not know what to do. If I went to see Dr. Livesey as the captain had told me to do, I would have to leave my mother alone, and her safety was my priority. On the other hand, it also seemed too dangerous for us to stay at the inn. At last we decided what we ought to do. First we needed to go to the nearest village to get help, then we would come back to open the chest and take the money the captain owed us before anyone else came for it. But when we got to the village no one wanted to return with us to the Admiral Benbow. Some of the men had heard of the terrible Captain Flint, and others had seen strange men on the road that day, as well as a ship in a nearby bay. They were all too frightened to leave their houses. We decided to go back to the inn alone to carry out our plan. One man gave me a gun in case we were attacked, and a boy said he would ride to the doctor's house to get help. When we arrived back at the inn, nothing had changed. We locked the door, lit a candle and, holding each other's hands, we walked into the room where the captain lay. I went down on my knees. On the floor near the dead man's hand was a small, round, black piece of paper, the black spot. I picked it up. Written on one side were the words, "You have till 10 tonight." Luckily for us it was still only 6 o'clock. I anxiously looked in his pockets for the key to the chest, but I found nothing. Then, finally, I saw it on a piece of string around his neck. I cut the string and we went quickly upstairs to find the chest. It was old and well used on it. "Give me the key," said my mother, and although the lock was difficult to open she turned it and opened the lid in a moment. At the top there was a carefully folded suit. Under that, there were too many things to count, some pistols, a large piece of silver, an old Spanish watch and many more small objects. When we had counted out about half of our money, I suddenly heard the tap-tapping of the blind man's stick on the road. We sat holding our breath. Then the stick banged on the inn door, and we heard the handle being turned, and then silence. At last, the tapping started again, but this time it became quieter and quieter as the man walked away. Not long after that, we heard a whistle blow far up on the hill. That was enough for us. "I haven't counted enough to pay his bill, but I'll take what I have," she said, jumping to her feet. "And I'll take this instead of the rest of the money," I said, picking up the packet covered in cloth. We went as quickly as we could down the dark stairs and out onto the road. We were on our way back to the village when we heard the sound of someone running, first in the distance and then getting nearer. "You must take the money and run on. I feel I'm going to faint," my mother said, and then she fell on my shoulder. Luckily, we were near a little bridge, and with some difficulty, I managed to pull her under it.